All right, you guys, so the very first floral we're going to add to this beautiful wreath, which I'm calling a wedding wreath. So we're doing this almost like for a wedding. I like to tell myself stories when I'm making these wreaths, so that way that I can, well, imagine that I'm making it for someone. So this particular hydrangea comes in this bush. It's really beautiful, but look what I'm doing. So I'm separating the hydrangea and the extra foliage. I always like to add all of this extra foliage to my wreath because, like I told you, it makes it look more natural if you just have some foliage. Now this hydrangea right here, you insert the hydrangea and then you grab that foliage that it came with and you find that place somewhere near, following that pattern. Remember, we're going in a clock motion. So I'm gonna grab another one right here, and then we cut this hydrangea at the joint, and then we'll make it a little bit shorter. And once again, we insert the hydrangea first and we add a lot of glue, and so we move on to this side right here, and then somewhere near we'll grab this hydrangea, and it doesn't matter if it goes up or down, just make sure that it's somewhere near your hydrangea, so that way it looks like it's growing from it. It also, adding that extra foliage from the real hydrangea is going to help it fill in the gaps. And so we separated them too, and this one I do need a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna cut a little bit shorter. And remember to always give it a little bit of a curvature, and we're going to smear some glue in here, and we're going to add our hydrangea right here on the inside. Now you can either when you are inserting your flowers, they can go either on the outside or the inside, and that's just going to make it a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to add another one. So I'm gonna cut short, and I'm gonna cut this guy right here, and we're gonna cut. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a bend. Remember, just keep that motion, that clock motion going. And like I told you, it doesn't matter if it's on the inside or on the outside. What matters is that we insert that flower in. Okay, so I'm gonna add my hydrangea foliage right here. See how that's adding to the wreath? I mean, it already comes with it, so why not? I'm going to add another one of this, and what you do is you cut right here at the joint, and we put that to the side. We cut it short. Immediately I give it a bend like this, and I smear, and then I add right here. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna keep adding these last few hydrangeas, and I'll be right back to give you the next step. Keep watching. Okay, so the next flower I'm going to add is going to be this gorgeous kalanchoe. Kalanchoes are one of my favorite flowers for spring, you guys. I think they're so beautiful. They have a lot of color, and they come on this. Let me cut them real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna cut 2 of these bundles of kalanchoe. So they have 5 at a bundle, and I just think they're so pretty because the foliage, it looks so real. And like I told you, kalanchoes is one of my favorite flowers. Look how packed this is with flower, and then all of this greenery, which is also gonna help us cover some of this wreath form. It's all about covering the wreath form with the greeneries and just letting the flowers sing. So I'm gonna start right here. Look at that. Oh, the contrast of all of these flowers together just makes so much sense to me. So I'm going to continue going into my wreath between flowers. And look at that. And also you can make sure that you go up and down. Like in this particular one, I inserted one on the top, and then I'm going to insert one right here on the bottom for the inside of it. So I'm gonna come down like this, and look at that. You just bring that kalanchoe all the way around. You guys, I am having so much fun because I love teaching. This is like my dream job, and I cannot believe you're here and I get to do it. So thank you for being here on our masterclass. There's so many wreaths and projects coming this year. And also I wanna say thank you for being so patient in this transition that we're going through, which is our move. We cannot wait to be all settled up, and so that way we can continue doing our live sessions, which has become our favorite things to do on Monday. We look forward to it, but right now with the moving across the country, it is a little difficult, so be patient. Today, fun fact, it is December, what, Jameson? The 21st. And so we're recording a whole bunch of projects, so that way we have them ready for you and you can learn a few tips and tricks as the weather gets a little grayer outside and we advance into winter. I figure that we can have a few spring projects going on so that you guys can feel inspired and just have so much going on. All right, so I'm going to just add 10 of these kalanchoes. I think I need one over here. Once again, remember that to get away from it, because you have to see where it is. See that one? It needs to kind of go like this, like that. You know what? I have one more kalanchoe, so I'm gonna add all of it. I really do, like I tell you, I'm not just saying, it is one of my favorite flowers and I cannot wait to plant some real kalanchoes. I wonder if they grow in the south. If you know if they grow in the south, be sure to leave me a comment below. Sometimes we wish we could, but sometimes the weather doesn't allow it. Are they? I think they're perennial, so I think they will grow in the south. I'm not sure. Leave me a comment down below. But if they do grow in the south, I would love to plant me some kalanchoe. And remember, you guys, to keep going on that circular motion. I'm never gonna get tired of telling you. And then also to just insert one flower at a time, okay? All right, so I'm gonna finish adding this particular flower and I'll be right back to give you the next step. Keep watching. Okay, so the next flower I'm going to add is going to be some beautiful peonies. And these are white peonies with a yellow center. And I just absolutely love this white flower. It comes with this foliage that you can go up and down, whether you want it short or long. I think in this case, we're gonna use like a medium size. And we're going to add some glue. And once again, we're gonna start layering these peonies. Now this peony, it's all about creating layers. So here is this beautiful hydrangea, then we have the peony going up, and then we have the kalanchoe going up. And so it's all about creating that texture. And the way we do that is by inserting some of those flowers lower than the other ones, and I'll show you. So that peony was like, I want to say medium on the air, and so this one's going to go all the way down. See how there's like depth and dimension? We're gonna do it again one time. So we're going to grab a peony, we're gonna give it about a mid size. It's going to be probably about 5 inches, and we're going to add glue on it. So now we're going to go right here and give it a little bit of air like this. And so the next one, we're going to cut short, so push that foliage down. So we're gonna cut it short, about 3 inches. We're gonna add some glue, and then we're going to make sure that goes all the way down. As you guys can see, let me push this one down. And then also moving one direction. Remember to just go one direction, not a bend. I know there's a bend called One Direction. I'm too old for that, for that type of bend, but look at that. And so we're going to continue to go all the way around, creating that depth and dimension with this beautiful peony. Now this comes 7 flowers, 7 blooms to the bundle. So we have plenty. Look at that. How pretty is that? So it's about creating that texture, you guys. And the way we do that is by doing up and down, up and down. What goes up must come down. And also in and out. We're gonna add another one right here. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. To me, there's not a prettier flower for wedding work than a peony. I think peonies are so elegant. They have so many petals. And combined with like an Austin rose, David Austin rose. You know, I used to know all the names of the flowers when I worked at the flower shop, because a coworker of mine used to sing the names. So that's how we named them. So that's how we learned them, because we used to sing all the names of the flowers. Monday was our flower day. And in the flower industry, on flower day, you have to process all the flowers. They come in buckets, you have to recut them. You have to put them in clean water. You have to then wash the buckets with bleach. It's a process, you guys. You don't know, unless you work in the industry when you are doing flowers, that it's a process to get the fresh flowers ready. All right, so I'm gonna continue. I have a few of these, and if James is kind enough to bring me those roses, these peachy roses, Jamison, I'm gonna go over here on the inside, maybe over here. And I have one left, so let me see. Yeah, all of those roses, all of them. Bring me all of them. So I'm gonna add this one over here. Remember that to create the texture, you have to like push some of them in as far as you can, and some of them give them a little bit of lift. So these one I'm going to push as far in as I can, like that. Perfect. All right, so if you don't mind, Jameson, yay, give it up for Jameson.
Here I am, bearing gifts.
Here you are again.
And bam.
Thank you so much. So we're gonna add all of these beautiful roses to our, oh my gosh, look how pretty these are. No, I don't like the has the tag on them, but we can cut them. Look at this, you guys. It has a bud, it has a flower, and so we're going to cut right here. This one has a really good stem because it's a really good quality flower. So sometimes what you have to do is go like this, go all the way around, cut all the way around until you feel that wire. And then what you want to do is pull this guy out, and so you're left with this stem that is easier to insert into our wreath. So I'm gonna grab this guy and I'm going to go right here. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I always start in the same spot also. And look at that bud just flying out. That is so pretty. So I have about 5 of these. You have to know how many you have because you have to balance them all throughout. So I have 5, which lets me know that I have to do that star 5 points. So here's my first point. I'm going to move over to this side and I'm going to add one right here. This particular also, you might want to let them fly. One of them shorter, one of them longer. It's going to make sense because it's going to give us a lot of depth. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit longer. And you know what? You get to decide where and how many you want to put in and whether you want them to be flying on the air or if you want them closer to the wreath form. I'm gonna open up right here and I'm going to insert this guy right in here. Sometimes you have to wrestle like this because it's getting tight in here, but we do have to make sure that goes in and see, nothing happens. All you have to do is keep pushing these flowers. All right, so I'm gonna add all of these roses and I'll be right back to give us one last step. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so the last, actually not the last step, I have one more flower after this, but the second to last step is going to be to add our flyaways, and look how pretty this is. This is so dainty and it comes in a variety of colors, but this peachy one, I figure it'd be so pretty for this wreath. So once again, I'm gonna start right here on the same spot and I'm just gonna let them fly. Now I do consider this my flyaway, so I have to make sure that they are longer so that way they are in the air and it's going to look absolutely beautiful. And all you have to do is open up right here and find that wreath form, because at this point with all the greenery and all the flowers is getting really tight. But once again, just about going the same motion, the clock motion, so that way it is cohesive and balanced. And then also don't forget to go on the outside, some on the outside, some on the inside, and don't forget to fluff. Give every single little stem a little touch, give the bend to your stem, and then we're going to insert right here. Remember, from the outside to the inside, and that's what's going to create that balance. And what happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down. So we're gonna continue adding flowers to this, like this. Look at that. See how that just adds so much to it? This wreath got a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I did not count the fact that the wreath form was huge, but I think it looks so pretty and perfect for a wedding. So this one is going to go down like that. Look how pretty. So now we're gonna add the last few over on this side and just touching the stem like this. I know there's so many cobwebs on me now, what we call glue cobwebs. And so now I need a few more and we'll be done with this particular baby's. It's almost like a baby's breath, but it's not. I wish I knew the name of this flower. But we're working on a better way to acquire all of these products coming soon. Shinoda Design Center is actually launching their website, their new website, where you guys will be able to shop easily. All right, so I'm gonna go right here like this. All right, so that's all that I'm going to add. And then for the last flower, I selected some of these beautiful orchid, and it comes on this, and so I want to pack them. So these are the Real Touch. I'm gonna get this tag off, I'm gonna cut all of them, letting go of that stem. So they come 2 at a stem. Actually, this is just 1 orchid, but I'm gonna cut them shorter because I want them to be really close to the wreath. A little bit of an orchid at the end is just so elegant. One of my favorite flowers too for inside the house is an orchid. Actually, orchids are a plant. Do you know that? Look, oh, just so pretty. So we're going to add, just give them a little bit of a curvature, and be sure to get them closer to the form. So I'm gonna open up right here, and I'm going to insert my orchid. Look at that, how pretty. Now going on the circular motion as well, and getting them as close as I can to my wreath form. So that way it adds so much elegance to it. I'm gonna add one right here, like so. And sometimes, you guys, I'm telling you, look at that peekaboo of orchid. It's so delicate and beautiful, and I just absolutely love it. All right, so I'm gonna go right here. Once again, making sure that I go through the form, there you go, and just laying it down like that to let it hang and to do its thing. And so I'm going to go right here. Also, actually, you know what, I'm gonna move it right here. At this point, I need more glue because I smear all of it out. So I have to make sure there's enough glue to hang on. Sometimes you have to lift up all of your flowers. There you go. And I feel like the last one right here, and that'll do the trick. All right, you guys, so I'm going to fluff this real quick, and I'll be right back to show you a close-up. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so I thought I was done with this wreath, but you know what? I decided that I want to add some loops of ribbon, and so we're going to use this 1-inch ribbon, and I'm going to do 2 loop bows like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my wire. I'm gonna grab 1 wire, and I'm going to wire this guy together like this, and really tightly. You want to be precise with this. Then we're going to grab a stem from one of the flowers that I cut, and we're going to swirl this guy onto this stem until we can swirl no more. And so it's really tight, and that's gonna give us a stem. I'm gonna cut this bow longer. Look at this. It's gonna give us this, and it has a little bit of glitter to it, so that's going to really catch the light, whatever they decide to put this. And so I'm going to open up right here, once again, starting in the same spot, working my way down, and I'm going to push this stem onto the wreath like this, letting these bows just dangle and play. And this is one of my signature deals that I do. I like to add this ribbon at the end, whether it's Christmas or spring or floral or wow, doesn't matter what it is. I want to say almost always like to add an accent ribbon at the end, because I feel like it really does add a lot to it, to your wreath. And all you have to do is grab a stem. It can be a skewer, but at this point, since we did a floral wreath, then we have plenty of stems laying around, and so we just grab this. Now I do want to mention that I like to leave one tail longer than the other one, and so now we have these 2 loop bows and 2 tails, and I'm gonna add some glue. Now what happens on the right happens on the left. What goes up must come down, so I'm going to add this guy right in here, opening up, and just going through my grapevine like that. Look how pretty that is. See how it just adds a little touch. I'm going to add a few more of these bows, and I will give you a close-up. Keep watching. And here is the end result of this beautiful pink and peach and cream floral wreath. You guys, this is so gorgeous. I cannot even tell you how beautiful these tiny little ribbons really add so much to it. And can we please talk about this beautiful orchid? It is just so beautiful. I really hope that you learned a few tips and tricks on how to create beautiful floral wreaths, and I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below.